Are horror movies bad for your soul? Is it unhealthy, spiritually, to watch a scary movie or a scary TV show? Should psychic mediums be watching things like that? Is it opening them up to things that are negative? We'll explore this today on Third Eyesight. My name is Juan Francisco, and I'm a psychic medium and tarot card reader. I've always been curious about the supernatural, the paranormal, and psychic abilities, and I'm here to share my stories and interview folks who want to share their own stories with us. Let's get to it. Hey there. Before we start our episode, I want to share that on February 21st, 2024, I'm going to be hosting my first ever virtual mediumship platform demonstration. Those are a lot of words. So what this means is that up to 30 of us will be in a Zoom room, and I will be giving readings to those that Spirit makes me feel like I'm called to give readings to. So you'll be experiencing people getting readings in this event, but you may also get a reading yourself. So you can go to my website, juanfranciscospirit.com, to get your ticket for a night with Juan Francisco. I have this background, for those of you who are watching the video version of this episode, this background behind me, this like accordion style backdrop, because things are a little messy back there behind that. Usually you can see my bed and my desk, the other desk behind me, but today things don't look really cute. And I also, I have no product in my hair because I'm just keeping it chill tonight. And I'm recording this at night. Sorry. For those of you who are listening in the morning in the bright sun. I just did a self-care bath ritual, and it's something that I want to share with you because my spiritual mentor, Daisy at Earth Angel Crystal, she had shared with me here. She said, have this Florida water and use an essential oil or some kind of scented oil with it in a bathtub ritual. And it's so lovely to do. It's the second time I've done it. This time I did it with music. Last time I did it in silence. And the way it works is you start filling up the way I do it, at least the way I understood I was supposed to do it, sitting in an empty bathtub. Start filling it up with warm water, the hottest you can bear it. And then start to pour in, I did 12 drops of rosemary essential oil. And then I poured half a bottle of Florida water. And then I have a healing crystal at one corner of the bathtub at my feet with a candle, a little white candle in front of it. And the smells and the scents, and I'm like sitting here, and I know that I'm not going to do it on camera or for those of you to hear on my microphone, but I can literally sniff my arm and smell what I just bathed in. So sitting in the bathtub, and then when you're ready to drain the water, what Daisy has shared with me is as you're draining it, sit in the tub as it's draining out and imagine all the energy that doesn't serve you going down the drain, and sit in the bathtub until all the water drains out. And it is the most amazing feeling in the world. It's incredible. I'm going to make this a thing for myself when I feel like I need to do it. And this brings me to the last thing I'm going to say in this part of the episode before we get to the meat, the topic of the episode. I started doing this bathtub ritual to help me process and deal with the feelings that have been coming up based on recent circumstances I've shared about 2 podcast episodes ago. And I just want to tell you that I've had people from amongst you listeners on social media who've been reaching out to me with words of support. And I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful. I'm thankful I have a support network both amongst you folks when you don't really have to be that support network. You're being so kind. And I have my support network amongst the people I love, my friends and family, and I'm just feeling very, very grateful. And there's a part of me that has been feeling like, should I have shared that part of my life with people on this podcast? Is it too much? Is it TMI? Is it making people feel uncomfortable? And you know what? I know that what I'm going through is going to contribute to my soul growth. I can already feel it, even though I don't know it. I'm not consciously aware of it, but my soul knows that I'm going to be growing a lot from this experience. And that's going to contribute to my intuition, my ability to tap into my mediumship abilities. I think it will. So that's why I shared what I did on this podcast about this experience I've been having. It's all a soul journey. And I just appreciate you all being so supportive and being amazing listeners. Just having a listening ear. Sela is playing with a bone. Sela's always interrupting this podcast. I should have her as a co-host one of these days. I know I said your name. No. You're not coming over here. Bye. Okay, you come over here. Anyways, horror movies. I want to know what your favorite horror movie is. So if you are on Instagram or on Facebook, I want you to comment what your favorite horror movie is on the post for this episode. I'll say off the bat that my favorite horror movie of all time so far in my life is The Exorcist. I think it's an incredible movie. And a movie like The Exorcist is actually a perfect example of a film that some people I know feel very uncomfortable with because it is so heavy. It is so dark. It has to do with evil, something evil that exists according to the movie, according to the book, The Exorcist. And it begs the question, is it healthy spiritually to watch things like that? Is it healthy to watch movies, to watch TV shows that highlight a dark side of humanity or a dark side of the other side, a dark side of just existence, whatever is out there, evil aliens, evil. And it's something that there are some people in the psychic world that whom I'm familiar, who have shared things like they cannot watch a scary movie because it brings their energy down, or it opens up things that they don't want to open themselves up to. And the way I see it, and I'm curious to hear your opinions, I have totally felt like watching a horror movie has opened me up in a way that I didn't want it to, or it made me hypersensitive. We've all had the experience. Most people have had the experience. Most of us have had this experience of watching a scary movie at night, and then we're going to bed, and every little noise that happens around us, we're like, what was that? What was that? Oh, what was that? Or walking down a dark hallway, and you're speed walking because you think there's something behind you after watching a horror movie. Very normal experiences. I don't like that feeling. So I am very aware of what kind of horror movies really affect me. I recently watched Evil Dead Rise, which is part of the Evil Dead franchise. That movie was very disturbing. It's not one of the most disturbing movies I've seen, but just how frightening it was disturbing, and it really stayed with me that night. Like, I actually felt nervous being at home alone for a little bit. I felt like a little sad. It was brutal. And I think another movie that made me feel that way, there is a mockumentary called Lake Mungo that I saw on the big screen maybe 3 months ago. And it's supposed to be like a ghost story. And that freaked me the heck out. I left that theater feeling scared, even though I knew it was fake and it was all production. So what does this say about horror movies? About scary movies? What does it say about true crime documentaries, true crime stories that people like to listen to in podcasts? I keep fixing my hair, y'all. Sorry, I promise I'm going to stop. For those of you who are watching, because there's no product in my hair, but I can feel the oils in my hair. It feels so nice from the bath. Anyways, what does it say about those pieces of content that may frighten us or remind us of the evil of humanity? The evil that can be in humanity, rather. You're not gonna like this answer because it's kind of predictable for someone like me to say this. It really is up to you. I can watch The Exorcist again, and usually what I will do is, after I've watched a scary movie and I feel that fear, I just kind of ask for protection from God. And that usually covers it. I mean, I really don't believe that something can hurt us if we don't give it power. That's my personal opinion. I may be wrong. But I think it is important that if you're about to go see a scary movie with some friends or family, or you're really interested in a scary movie, but you know that scary movies have an effect on you, giving yourself that moment to protect yourself spiritually with your higher power or with whatever you believe and trust in. If you know you're somebody that just cannot handle scary movies, you don't have to watch them. And the main reason I wanted to do this episode is because I don't think there is any reason for me, or for rather someone else, to tell me, Juan, you're a developing psychic medium and you watch like scary movies. Isn't that bad for you? Why are you watching scary things? And then they start to probably question, like, what kind of psychic medium are you? What kind of psychic are you? Do you do evil things? Do you do witchcraft or whatever, as if witchcraft is always evil, which it's not. They make all these assumptions. And it just doesn't matter. It's almost like when people, this is a very different scenario, but it kind of reminds me of when people who wear makeup like to criticize people who get work done on their face. Yes, makeup is not the same as getting Botox or getting fillers, but I think, well, who are you to judge them? You're wearing makeup. If you believe in natural beauty or being your natural self, don't wear makeup. Oh, you want to still wear your makeup? Well, you're not being natural then. So who are you to judge other people who do whatever they want to do to their body to make them feel good? Who are you to tell me that I'm not being healthy because I watched The Exorcist or fill in the blank horror movie? There are some horror movies that for me are just way too evil. One of the Insidious movies, I won't even say what it was about, but it involved a family, 2 kids and 2 parents, I think. And I went to go see it in theaters, maybe at home, I forget. I saw it and I thought it was just way too evil. It was just way too sinister. And I don't know. I don't think it was sinister. Maybe it was sinister actually, but I meant to use that as the adjective. I just thought it was way too dark for me. Like, I did not want to see a movie like that again. It was just too much for me. And I know not to see a movie like that again. I also personally like horror movies that have a good ending where there's a solution. When a horror movie ends and it's just evil wins, I don't like that. Sometimes it's a good movie still when that happens, but one of those Insidious, Sinister, whatever movies definitely had evil winning at the end, and I just didn't like the feeling I had when I saw it, so I won't see it again. And when people ask me what I think of that movie, I will tell them exactly how I feel. But if they want to watch it, whatever, like that's up to you. As has been quoted for me before, I'm going to censor myself. What you eat doesn't make me use the restroom. to censor it lightly, sort of. Ugh. That sounds even nastier saying it that way, actually. But I think you know what I mean. Like, what you do has no effect on me. I may have my opinions, but what are opinions? Everyone has opinions. So there's a threshold for me of evil or scary in a movie. But I mean, one of my other favorite horror movies, I love The Shining. I really love The Shining. I really love, what's another one? The Exorcist, The Shining, Rosemary's Baby. It's a great movie to me. That doesn't really have a happy ending. I mean, that's debatable, but I don't think it does. Spoiler. Sorry. And I'm trying to think of other movies I've seen that I really. The Others with Nicole Kidman. That is a very interesting movie. And I won't give it away, but if you were to watch it, you would understand why I'm saying that as a psychic medium, as someone who believes in ghosts and paranormal activity being a thing. So these are all movies that have to do with an other thing, or othering something that seems something evil and scary that is being othered. It is a monster. It is something that is not normal, quote unquote, something that is out of our control, that comes to scare us or comes to haunt us, comes to prey on us. Prey, comes to hunt us. And this is a tale, this is a plot structure that has been around forever. I remember in college, I took a medieval English literature class. Beowulf, with an ogre, I think it was an ogre in Beowulf. We read the first story of the werewolf that was ever written. I read Frankenstein in a science fiction novels class in college. I had cool classes in college. We read Frankenstein, and even though it's not really a horror, it's actually not really a horror novel. It's more of a science fiction novel, and it really makes you think. But there's that element of horror because of this creature that is scaring villagers. There's so many other stories that have to do with maybe people living in a town and there's something outside the town that is encroaching on it. This idea that there is something foreign, a foreign object or being that is infiltrating the peace of something. Same thing with The Exorcist. That happens in The Exorcist. It happens in the movie The Village. I kind of just described the plot, although there's a twist to that movie too that I won't discuss. That seems to be the underlying theme of horror. And when it comes to the age-old story of the devil in Christianity and in other Judeo-Christian religions, the devil is something that infiltrates our lives according to those traditions, or at least the tradition that I grew up with. We are one with God as long as we believe in God, and the devil comes to tempt us. So it is a foreign thing that it's coming into our energy, so to speak, to bring us away from God, right? And this is take away, if you just like zoom out and not focus so much on the details of the devil and God, those themes of something coming to bother, something coming to flip things upside down, to hunt and to endanger, that is the underlying theme of horror, it seems to me. And it's been around for ages. So humans have always been interested in this stuff, just how humans have always been interested in true crime stuff. I mean, I think about Jack the Ripper, what noise the Jack the Ripper murders made back in the day, and how people are still fascinated and intrigued by those murders today, and all these true crime YouTube channels and podcasts. And you will meet people who have no interest in hurting another person, are the sweetest people in the world, and they love true crime podcasts and shows that are really detailed and gory, and you're like thinking, huh? Like what? But I think it's part of our human curiosity. I've watched many crime documentaries, and it's interesting because I think there's this idea of something that doesn't seem normal, or some kind of foreign attitude. That attitude being the desire to hurt someone, to murder somebody. There's this almost like a curiosity of, how does someone get to that point? How does someone have the guts to do something like that? The desire to do something like that? That seems so foreign to us. So we're curious about learning why that is, why this happens. And I think horror really, some horror movies and TV shows capture that feeling, tap into that curiosity that we have as human beings. And the first thing that I'll always say when it comes to living life as a human being, a soul being in a human body, is that we have to honor our human desires and curiosities to an extent. Just like of anything in life, something can be very fun, but we can use it to the point that we're abusing it. So horror movies, you have to ask yourself, I enjoy horror movies, and am I enjoying them to the point, or am I watching them to the point where I'm driving myself crazy? Am I watching them to the point where I'm feeling scared all the time? Because that's not what you want. I think it's fine to enjoy them in doses, or whatever dose it feels right for you. So are horror movies bad for you? I wouldn't say so. I just know there are some horror movies that I absolutely love, and there are horror movies that I know I won't see again because they were way too disturbing. So I think that's pretty much covers it. I did an Instagram reel on this a while ago. I wonder if I can try to find it, because I'm pretty sure I posted it sometime last year, probably around Halloween. And I'm curious to see if anyone responded to it back then. But I remember when I released it around Halloween, I was thinking, I was wondering what other people would think about it. It is an interesting subject in the psychic world. Like I said, some psychics feel like it is not good to watch horror movies. I'll read you some comments that people said. Someone said, I personally think things have the meaning we give them. I don't think movies or any other media have power over our energy. I love that. Someone else said, I've known from an early age that those kinds of movies really mess with me and affect me badly, so I've stayed away from them for years. I know myself well and will not watch them. If my loved ones want to, go for it, but I will not be with them when they do. And I responded, it's good that you know yourself and your limits. That's all that matters. That's all there is to it. It's really simple. And I don't think we should be judging other people based on whatever their threshold is for horror movies, if they're psychic. And when it comes to psychics who dabble in like darker stuff or like the darker stuff, for example, well, I don't know. See, I don't consider paranormal investigations dark, because I don't approach paranormal investigations with, oh, I hope I get scratched tonight by a ghost. Oh, I hope I get the living shit scared out of me tonight. Like, I'm not approaching these investigations or these ghost tours that way. I'm approaching this with the desire to learn, a desire to connect in a way that is safe, in a way that is respectful to the deceased. But there may be people who think that me as a psychic medium, that I am making a mistake doing paranormal investigations because I open myself up to energies that make attach to me and come home with me. And is that possible? Yes, I think it's possible, but not if I don't give it that power. I think if I were somebody who didn't believe in this stuff and I approached a paranormal investigation like a game, like as just teasing the ghost, being disrespectful, I think that is not good karma. And I think that, yes, it's possible that something may nag at you, but I'm somebody who, I'm just speaking for myself, I approach those experiences with respect. I want to give the deceased the dignity that they deserve. And I want to learn more about what it's like to connect with the other side through these electrical devices or through my intuition when I'm in a physical place that has a lot of history, that has a lot of meaning to it. And why would I just wouldn't be worried about something attaching to me. If something has a history, a place has a history of an evil spirit and negative attachments, I will think twice before going to that place. And at the same time, I have my belief in my higher power and my spirit team that I believe protects me. I'm the kind of person, I have my opinions and my thoughts, and I just shared an opinion about attachments and things possessing you and coming home with you after an investigation. My opinion may change. I'm always open to my opinion changing. And life experience can sometimes do that. So I pray to you, God, that I never experience a negative attachment. I never experience something following me home and nagging me after an investigation. I hope I don't ever experience that. But I have this faith that it won't happen because I'm going into these investigations with the right attitude. I'm not poking fun at it. And I'm making sure to protect myself as I need to. So do the same with horror movies. Do the exact same. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think horror movies are bad for you? Do you think horror movies are bad for psychic mediums? Should someone like me not be watching horror movies? I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Let me know. Send me a message, DM me, or put it in the comments of the post for this episode on social media. And until then, I will see you. How do I say that? Until then, have a nice day. Done. If you have a question or topic you want me to cover on Third Eyesight, head to my website, juanfranciscospirit.com/contact, and send a message my way. If you really enjoyed this episode, leave a review wherever you listen. I'd really appreciate it.